Welcome back to the GBGuns Armory, and today we're talking about non-NFA firearms. I've got two of them here. They happen to be the same color, which I think is super cool. What am I talking about? Well, in the case of this gorgeous Darkstorm Industries Variant 1, you can see we've got a vertical foregrip. You can also see we have a brace. Some folks will say that's a no-no. It depends on the overall length of the firearm, whether or not the vertical grip was installed by the manufacturer or not, and barrel length. The name of the game on these things was, and these were popular for a brief moment a couple years back. I thought it was a cool idea, and then everyone stopped making them. Essentially, this barrel is too short for this to be a rifle. It has a factory installed vertical foregrip, which means it's meant to be fired with two hands, which means it's not a pistol, but it does not have a stock, which again means it's not a rifle. This falls into a loophole, or rather not a loophole, but a void in the regulation of a configuration of firearm that doesn't fit the definition of a rifle or a pistol. I happen to have one of these Schmeiser quad stack mags in here just for fun, because this is a nice big middle finger to regulation and restriction, because it's all completely legal. You've never seen this magazine on the channel before because I bought it and got it about a week and a half before YouTube said no more magazines above 30 rounds. Now they won't let you run 30 round magazines. But anyways, I wanted to test this thing out and see if it was any good, because I kind of like the way it fits. It would be heavy, but if you just want a one mag to go, 60 in a box doesn't seem too bad. And this other one, longtime fans of the main channel should know this, or anybody that's watched John Wick. This is a Gen 12. It's a 12 gauge conversion to the curve cut AR-10 SR-25. I always forget which one is which setup, but basically lets you run 12 gauge with their magazines. Incredible firearm. Doesn't have an optic on it because the optic mount I had on there broke under recoil. Unfortunately, but this was the same thing. The barrel is too short for it to be a shotgun. It has a manufacturer installed vertical foregrip, but it does not have a stock. Therefore, it is neither a shotgun nor a pistol, nor any other weapon because of length. I don't know the exact numbers on those. I'm not an attorney and I don't play one on YouTube. Look it up or make sure you're getting it from a reputable manufacturer. But anyways, this falls into the non-NFA firearm category. So what good are these things aside from being loads of fun? In 5.56, arguable validity. Now this thing is super fun, and I'll bring it in close so you can see the gorgeous detail and machining that's on these receivers. This is kind of a flagship of Darkstorm Industries, and it is a beautiful gun. Love this thing. In 5.56, I don't think it has quite the utility. You don't necessarily have the recoil requiring a vertical foregrip. At the same time, if you go too short on barrel, like the AR pistols, which we'll cover in another video, you lose a lot of practicality because 5.56 needs the speed. Now maybe 300 blackout, that would be a good option if you can afford the ammo. In 12 gauge, I think it makes a lot of sense. Makes this thing very compact and easy to wield. Plenty of barrel length for any defensive distance shotgun use. And since it is built on the AR-10 platform, it can be a bit heavy, and 12 gauge ammo is heavy. So this helps by shaving some weight off the front end to make for something a little more comfortable to use. I'm curious how many of you guys, and you may not want to say it, just say if you're familiar with the non-NFA firearm concept, and if you've seen anybody still making them, because when these two came out, it was like right on top of one another, and it was very exciting, and they were all over YouTube, and then they sort of disappeared. I could see maybe not wanting to poke the bear, trying to make sure that the government doesn't realize its own failures in trying to restrict firearms. Of course, the court battle they would have on the flip side is things like these have been in circulation for a while, and how many of them are out there. That's important because unusual weapons is one of the things that they try to restrict. If there's enough of them out there, then it's not unusual anymore. And the other part is they have to be dangerous. So there needs to be evidence that they are causing a hazard to society, which of course is difficult to do. Neither of these are particularly affordable firearms. They're both on the higher end of the price range, but both a lot of fun. This guy in particular, I think, is a great pairing of size and weight to enable someone to use 12 gauge for defense in a scenario where a traditional full-size shotgun might be too unwieldy for them. I'm thinking about smaller frame people. I'm thinking about people that don't have necessarily the same upper body strength. Great idea, especially with the Gen 12. It's very soft shooting. If you guys just found out about Gen 12 because of the John Wick movie, check on the main channel. We've got videos going back to, I think, 2017, following along the development of the Gen 12 and shooting various versions of that gun. As a 5.56 gun, the Non-NFA is lots of fun. We do have a rather one of those obnoxious brakes on there, but as a fun gun, I don't care. Sometimes a little extra boom adds to the fun. For practical application, I think this setup, like I said, in 300 Blackout or 7.6239 would be ideal, because neither of those calibers need the same barrel length that 5.56 does in order to have its true effectiveness. Whether or not they're useful doesn't matter because it's a civil right, and they're loads of fun, and that's what I enjoy them for. They're also both mastercraft pieces of engineering and building, in my opinion. If you're curious about either of these, the Variant 1 or the Gen 12, give it a search on the main channel. It was both of them were covered a few years back, so I apologize for the video, but we're always learning, right? Let me know your thoughts, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.